what if I write something and it's not correct, or
Hmm.
I don't know, I will be judged, and I don't know, the people will say, why do you sing in English? Because you don't sound well, or I don't know. I was thinking like that. But I've tried and tried and tried, and my English improved. I've studied English in school, but if you don't speak that much, you can lose
Yeah.
every language.
Hi, Minelli. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I
I'm
was just
great.
like, okay, I don't understand anything. I
Yeah,
was
her
like,
her her video, her like internet was kind of lagging a little bit. I'm glad yours is connecting quite well. So we're all
yes, yeah,
as long as you can hear me, I can hear you and I can see you,
yes,
and
perfect, yeah.
I appreciate your time. I'm Adam, by the way, and this is
Hello.
about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new album, which is awesome. I've been listening to it this morning. I will say I think my favorite songs, well, I mean, they're all really good, but the ones that really stuck out, could be someone or something, could be something, and Kill the Lights,
Yeah.
I think, are my two favorites.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice to hear that.
Yeah, great record. So I can't
Thank.
wait to hear about it. But I always start off, kind of tell me, where were you born and raised?
Oh, I was born and raised in Romania, actually, and yeah, I'm in Romania right now. But I'm glad that my music travels around the world, actually.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
noticed that you've had significant success in and obviously multiple countries. It's
Hmm.
incredible.
Yeah, it's
What
crazy what music do.
I know, especially with the internet now. I mean, you can
Yeah,
get
yeah,
you
it's
have
true.
access to unlimited songs. But
Mhm.
so grew up in Romania. What was it like growing up there? Were you in you were in the capital, right? Is that what I read?
Yeah, right now, yes, I'm in the capital. I'm in Bucharest. I moved here when I was like 16 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And right here, I'm working right now here in Bucharest. You have to be here if you want to be in the music industry.
Oh, you have to be in Bucharest. Okay. So
Yeah,
before that, how
yeah.
far away from there did you live?
2 hours by car.
Okay. two
Yeah.
hours by car. Were you in
Yeah.
like a kind of a smaller town, or like tell me about like the actual place you grew up in?
Actually, Slobozia is the name of my hometown. It's a small town and very boring right now. If I go there, I'm like, okay, this is so boring. It doesn't compare with Bucharest, but it's normal
Yeah,
to have.
right.
Uh,
What about a musical household? Do you come from a musical family at all?
no, no.
No.
Actually, I have an uncle. He sings like traditional Romanian music, but my parents had like normal jobs, nothing
Hmm.
special. Yes, and I was with the music. I wanted to make music since I was uh, little, very very little. Yeah,
Okay, so
I don't
you were
know how,
cut.
I don't know why, but I was always passionate about music.
Interesting. Were you always singing? Like, was that something you started at a very early age?
Yeah, yeah. I remember I was singing to all of my teachers in kindergarten, so I can say that I'm into music. I was into music when I was very very young.
And how, like, at what age did you kind of start to, to do a little bit more, not professionally, but like, were you in chorus or choir or anything? Did you get put in that very early, or was it late, a little bit later down in life?
I can say that maybe when I was 11, I started a project with my cousin.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, in our hometown, and we had a band called Sherry first, and then Shelly, and we actually had some gigs in our hometown back then, and it was fun. It was a quite a nice start to have in
Were
music,
you the
and
singer?
we were writing, yes, me and my cousin, and we were writing our own music. That was crazy, even though
Really?
it was a simple music with simple words. We were 11 years old, but it was quite fun.
That
Yeah.
is cool. Like to start your own like thing, you know, at 11 and write your own music and your own songs. That's really impressive.
Now, I remember at when I was 8, I think, or 9, I discovered that you can record yourself on a tape. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's like that back then, and I was so fascinated by that, and I was recording myself on and on and on, and that was crazy. Yeah,
Wow.
so
Yeah,
and with music.
so you've always, I mean, it sounds like you're recording at, I mean, at 8. So do you have any
Yeah,
of those
yeah,
cassettes anymore?
but I was playing, you know. No, I don't
Oh,
have any. No,
okay.
no, but it's quite nice to remember those times.
Yeah. Do you play an instrument?
No,
Oh,
unfortunately not. But why do I say unfortunately? Because, when I was in high school, I wanted to study music, but I had a thing with my mother because she was like, no, I don't want you to go to graduate music, the music high school.
uh-huh.
I want you to study interior design.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'll do that for you.
Is she an
And
interior designer or no?
that's why I don't know how to play any instrument right now.
Yeah, but you can
Even
sing and write songs,
though
right? That's all that matters, and write melodies. So,
that's my only instrument that I play right now. I actually
uh,
tried to learn some. I had some guitar lessons,
mhm.
but quite hard. I think some things you got to do some things at the right age, because sometimes I feel like I don't. I'm not that patient right now,
Uh-huh.
and I cannot focus. But I'll try. I'll try with the piano. Maybe it works
Okay.
much. Yes,
Yeah. I mean, you've achieved so much and so much success
I have
solely on
to.
your songwriting and your voice. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's not like
That
it's
helps.
hindering you at all.
I think if you know how to play an instrument, that can help you in your creative process. So I have to learn something.
Mhm. I mean, interior design is a creative outlet as well. So it's not like you went, like your family was like, you need to go into business or you need to go into
No,
economics. It
no,
was
no.
like, yeah,
It was art related.
yeah.
Yes, it
Are
was
you,
nice, but I wasn't that into painting or drawing or things like that. I was with the music.
yeah, awesome. So
Yeah,
you graduated high school and well, it sounds like you moved to the capital
I
at
was like back and
16.
forth. Yeah,
Uh,
I was back and forth just because I had my school in Slobosia still when I was 16. And I got in a girl group in Bucharest, and that group was managed actually by a big producer from Romania, and that's why I had to move to Bucharest to be
oh,
because here's the melting pot,
yeah.
so I had to be in Bucharest, so I was like back and forth, back and forth.
And
Yeah,
was that Wasabi, that project?
yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how did you get into that group? I mean, being kind of a couple hours away from the city and
I remember someone told me that this producer was searching for, I don't know, another girl, the third girl actually in the group. And I was like, okay, that's my chance. So I got to his studio. Um, I sang for him, I don't know, Christina Aguilera, I think.
okay.
I'm beautiful no matter what they say. and he was like, I want you to be part of this group. And so
Wow.
that happened. Yes.
I
It
mean,
was a big challenge.
it sounds like your family was really supportive then. I mean, to drive you
Yeah,
2 hours to go to an
yeah.
audition with a producer that none of you probably know. It's like, okay, we're gonna go to the
He was
studio.
very he was very big. So they trusted that. And
Okay.
I really appreciate that. They trusted me actually. Because it was like I was very young
Yeah.
to be alone here in Bucharest, but it was a pleasant journey. So
So once you get into that group was, I mean, it's really you're working at probably a pretty high level, like professional level, especially with a producer that's notable in a big
yeah,
deal. And then he forms this group of you girls, and then are you like, is it, that starts really your career, right? I mean, you must have been recording all the time. Are you performing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We had a house, and we were like the four of us. We were staying there, and it was quite nice to have that girl group when at an early age, to have a girl group like that. It was quite nice.
And you guys had a song for what, a local radio station, right? You like wrote their jingle.
Yeah. Radio. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was wild. Was that the first time you had ever heard yourself on the radio before?
Yes, it was my first time. Yes.
Was that that must have been pretty big, a pretty cool moment to have, you
It
know,
was
I'm sure your
short.
family and friends back home
Yeah,
could hear it.
major thing. It was a major thing. Yes, it was nice.
Wow. And so
It
you
was
did,
crazy.
and that went on for a little while, right? I mean, a couple of years.
Yeah, because it's not that easy to be part of a girl group because it's not only you there. It's like I don't know. I don't know how noticeable is I was in that group. So I had to take some time to discover myself, to see if I really want to do music. I don't know. It was a time I had to take some time for myself, just
Sure.
as if I really want to do music again. And what kind of style do I want to sing? If I want to sing in Romanian or in English. And I don't know, I started working. I was every day on my computer and I was downloading YouTube instrumentals. And I started to play with that and to try to write lyrics in English and write melodies. And after that, I was going to different studios here in Bucharest. And that's how Minelli started.
Really? Okay. So, I mean, well, you said you kind of had to figure out you and yourself like within that group, which I would imagine you're so young at that time, right? I mean, you're 16 years old and you're kind of put in this position of you're working with this producer that people know and you're on the radio and all this stuff. There's a lot happening at such an early age. I'm not shocked at all that you would have to kind of find yourself within that.
Yeah, that's why maybe I needed some time for myself because I was a bit confused. But I took that time and I was back.
Created Minelli. I love that.
Yeah.
Was that a big step? I mean, I guess that's not the right question, but obviously it's a big step to come out as now you're a solo artist. But even deciding to write in English, was that a difficult challenge? I mean, was that something that you had to like? I mean, to write, I would imagine English wasn't your first language, so to translate everything over and thoughts and almost like creating these metaphors and like the lyrics, not only in another language.
Yeah, it was very hard because at the beginning I was like, and what if I write something and it's not correct, or I don't know, I will be judged. And I don't know, the people will say, why do you sing in English? Because you don't sound well, or I don't know. I was thinking like that. But I've tried and tried and tried, and my English improved. I've studied English in school, but if you don't speak that much, you can lose every language. But I don't know, I did that, and I wanted to have an international career, so I've worked on that. And
was that why you decided to write in English? Was that something that you knew early on? Like, okay, I want this to be bigger than Romania. I want to write in like the more of a universal language.
Yes, I did that, and I focused on that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And what was like the first? I mean, coming out as having success with Wasabi, and then coming out, you're a solo artist now. It's Minelli, and what was the first like validation that this is really, I'm so glad that I did this. Like, I'm so happy that I did. You have a song that did really well kind of early on, or was it little stepping stones? Like, what was kind of the beginning of this really working for you?
The beginning is when I heard other artists from other countries singing my songs, actually.
Wow. Yeah.
I started as a songwriter first. even though I had this project of mine, Minelli, I've started to write songs for other artists from other countries just to see if I can do it and prove myself that I can do it. And after that, I've started to concentrate more to write songs for myself. And I released the first one for my project. It was Empty Spaces, and that one was signed with Ultra.
Oh, wow.
It was a big step for me. And I was like, okay, this is a nice beginning. So I don't know. And I did that. And after that, I released another song called Mariola. And that was big here and in some countries around Romania. And after that, I released Ram Pam Pam.
Oh, that one's massive.
It was massive, yes. And that was a time when I was like, I'm glad that I've worked and I stick to, I was with the music on and on and on. So it's nice to see that if you work a lot and if you stay confident, even though sometimes it can get hard to have that confidence, it's happening.
Yeah.
If you yourself and if you work hard.
To even have Mariola was a big hit. Even that was like a #1 song, wasn't it, for you?
Yeah, yeah.
To have your second record that you put out be a #1, I mean, that's, I don't know, that's like kind of unheard of, right?
Crazy, and it's like it's quite nice when you know that you wrote that song. It's like it's such an amazing feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be a lot different getting that validation versus, I mean, obviously it's awesome that your other group was on the radio and had success, but to have it just be your own project, your song, your thing. And
I write the songs the way I wanted them to be. I don't know. I think about melodies, I think about words, I think about concepts, I think about a lot of things. And then I work that idea that I have in mind, or I don't know, that I dreamed of, maybe. And I release the song and you never know what can happen.
Yeah, no, that's so, it's awesome to see. I mean, it has like 100 million plus like streams and stuff. I mean, it's insane the numbers that it does online. With it, you put out a project though before Ram Pam Pam, right? An EP, Nostalgic Illusions.
Yeah. It was with Illusion and Nostalgia. Yeah, 2 songs.
Yeah, and with that it looks like you put that out in 2020. Was that something that you had to work on like during the pandemic, or did it come out before that happened, or what was that like?
Even though it was that pandemic situation, then I never stopped working. And I think I wrote Ram Pam Pam in 2021. Yeah. So it was the coronavirus was in 2021.
2020. I mean, it started in like here, at least in the States, it was like March 2020.
Yeah.
But even into 2021, everything was still, it's wild that it was like a worldwide thing, right? I mean, everybody in the whole world was like doing the same thing. It blows my mind.
We were like, okay, I'll stay at home 1 week and then it's gonna be okay. But then we were like, okay, and another week and another one and another one.
And then a year and then 2 years.
Yeah, that was crazy. But I still put out music. I had many tracks. And Ram Pam Pam, Nostalgia, Illusion. So I kept going.
It didn't stop you. You were just still writing and releasing songs.
I had to. Yes.
Yeah. And you have your album out, which is like we were saying at the beginning, amazing. Silver and Gold Chapter 2. And I'm sure you've gotten a million questions about this, but where's the first chapter?
Yeah, actually the first chapter is the one with Ram Pam Pam, with Mariola, with all the songs that were
like
before
previously released. Sure.
Yeah, previously released. So this is the next chapter. That's why it's Chapter 2.
But it's the first album, but it's Chapter 2. It's just a collection of everything together instead of like the
Yeah,
separate singles.
yeah.
Very
And
cool. That's a
this is my first album ever.
right. Your first album, but it's chapter 2 because it's the second chapter of
Like another chapter in my life.
yeah. Very, very cool. When did you start working on this album?
This was actually a long process, and you know, it's funny because I didn't have in mind to release an album until I released Ram Pam Pam, and everybody was asking me, is there gonna be an album? Are you thinking about releasing an album? And I was like, okay, I get that question a lot, so I think it's time for me to release an album, because I was so focused on releasing song after song after song.
Mhm.
And I felt like if I want to do an album, it has to be something special. It's a journey, it's something so personal. I have to create a concept. And so when I decided to release an album, I had a talk with my team, and they started to the brainstorming for the concept and everything. And I've started to create the songs. I don't know, I had sessions in Stockholm, in Berlin, in London, in Dubai, in Amsterdam, with different talented people. Yes. And it was such a beautiful journey, you know, because I dreamed about that years ago when I started to write music, to actually be able to write music, to put my ideas on the table with, and to create with other artists, you know. And right
Mhm.
now that's happening. I have sessions in different countries, and I don't know, it's quite nice to work with different people, and I'm like a sponge, you know.
Yeah. Do you
I
work
absorb
differently?
everything.
If
Yeah.
you're writing in Berlin versus Romania versus where else, is that a different like vibe? Like, do you feel like you get different songs from or different sounds or anything different from your like? Can you
uh,
hear it in your project? Like, okay, I know that this was recorded in Berlin.
I think you can hear, it could be something was wrote in London,
Hmm.
and I think you can hear the vibe. It's kind of funky a little bit, and usually we don't do that type of music in Romania because
Interesting.
we don't have the public for that kind of music, you know.
Hmm.
So the process is the same. You go into the studio and you start by scratch, or you already have an idea, or you go play some chords. The process is the same, but the vibe and the people are different. So their story is different, their journey is different, their input is different. So it's very important for me to create with other people, to have
Hmm.
that different vibe.
Yeah, that's awesome that you have that opportunity to play
Yeah.
or to record in different countries. I mean, here
Yes.
usually people like maybe they'll travel to a different state, but to get a
Yeah.
whole different culture,
Yeah.
that's really cool to be able to implement that into your album.
Yeah.
I mean, and I saw that you're a mom. I mean, you have two children. I have two
Yeah.
kids myself. That must
Oh,
be
nice.
difficult. Was that I mean, I have like just thinking about that, just online, I saw that your first was born in 2017. So like, and then you had another child. So it's like that wasn't that long ago. And then to be like working and putting out the music you're doing and then putting in an album and traveling all around the world, that must have been a difficult thing to kind of juggle.
Yeah, it is. And sometimes it gets quite hard to
Hmm.
manage. And it's exhausting. But I don't know, I have my mother with me. She helps me every time I
Oh,
have
that's
work to do,
awesome.
and I can chill and concentrate on the things that I have to do. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
It's important to be there, to be present, to stay focused, and I'm trying. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I do this the both perfectly, but
No
I'm
one
trying.
does. I
Yeah,
I don't even do the one perfectly. So
yeah. Okay, you
yeah.
do what you gotta do. So if you
Yeah.
try to do the best you can, I think that's perfect.
I love that. And were they like had I'm sure they had been in studios with you before. So they kind
Yeah,
of get this cool life of like growing
Yeah,
up in the industry, like at a very high level.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But for them, it's like something normal. It's not.
Right? It's just what
Yeah,
in real life.
it's something normal. They're like, okay, and they're like every time they getting me um not notes. How do you say
Like feedback.
yeah, a feedback, yeah, on every song. I'm like, let me play you another song that I did last night. And they're like, okay, this is a 7. This is a 8. This is a 9. Oh, I quite like this one. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you use their barometer a lot? Like, oh, this is only a 7. Like, should we go back and tinker? Or like, is it just
No.
okay?
I
You
trust
don't
my
want to take that much advice from that young of a person, I would imagine.
sorry?
I said you probably don't want to implement too much advice from
Yeah.
maybe like a 5 or a 6-year-old
Even
versus
though they're like, they have good ears, they're like, yeah, but I don't know. I create my music and it's very important for me to um like I have to be 100% sure about the track that I
Mhm.
release. Me and my team, yes.
And I did read that you and and I love that you said this is that once the album is out, like you know it's out now to the world, and now you've just given it up, right? You said that, and correct me, maybe I'm misquoting you, but it was something along the lines of like when the album is out, now it's everyone else's to do to kind of have, right? You're like giving it away in a sense.
The album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I realized that was an important thing for me too, to release an album. That's why I've called it a chapter 2, because it's like another chapter in my life, this album. It's something very important for me, even though I released it just because everybody was asking. But it's not like a superficial thing that I did, you
Right,
know
right. But I
the
meant like
album.
I feel like you said like it was something like about just you get it out and you accomplish it, but now you're giving it to your fans. You're giving it
Mm,
to other people to kind of receive how they will or interpret how they will or
yeah,
play
yeah,
how they will and kind of tell
yeah.
their own story too. I think that's a cool concept.
Yeah, and it's nice for me to see that every track has his own feedback. It's like um and the most important thing for me is to give the people more songs on and on and on. Music, 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 and music again and again and again. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah. With the album, was there a song on there that you or a moment on the record that really sticks out to you as like you created something you're like, oh wow, like this, I can't like this just came out, or I can't believe that, you know, something that
Uh,
kind of just clicked in the studio. You're like, whoa, like an aha moment within the record.
from the album,
Yeah, from the album.
um, I remember that I loved so much the Drinks on Me one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love that one. And I was like, I cannot wait to put this out. Yeah. And Silver and Gold. I love that one. I don't
Was
know.
that
It's like very sensitive and I love that one too.
is that what chose the album title? Like, was the song written and we're like, okay, this is gonna be the first song on the record, and that's gonna be the title of the album.
I felt like even though it's like very sensitive and very melodic, it's very strong. I don't know. It has a strong message.
Mhm.
And the title, Silver and Gold, it felt like this is the right title for the song, for the album.
The album. Yeah, it's a great record. I mean, the album is amazing, and it sounds like you're still working on music. Are you
Yeah.
Are you writing for other people still? Is that something you do
Right,
regularly?
right now, right now I'm concentrating more on my project.
Mhm.
And but after that, I don't know, maybe I'll do some work for other artists. Yes, it
Okay.
depends, sometimes
Yeah.
you're in the mood to do that, sometimes no, so it depends.
So you're working on stuff right now, new stuff. Sounds like
Yeah,
you're always working.
yeah,
That's
I
exciting.
love doing that. Yes, even though it's sometimes it gets like not like a business because it sounds I don't know, superficial, but I still love doing music, making music.
Mhm.
I still love it.
Well, I love what you're doing, and I appreciate you taking time to chat with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I have one more question before I let you go and get back to work. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Never give up. And like Pink said in a song, you gotta get up and try, try, try. Yes, that's what you have to do. And you gotta trust yourself and work. That's the most important thing. Even though you're talented, you gotta work.
Bringing it backward.